Today we're going to show you guys how to make your paint go from this to this using a few Chemical Guys products. Let's get started. Alright, first things first, before you start polishing, you want to make sure that you start on a freshly clean vehicle. So we've already taken the time to wash this car off camera, and now we're ready to start polishing. But before we do so, we're going to go to mask down the hood right down the middle. That way you guys can see a nice, beautiful before and after. Now, before you start using a machine polisher to get rid of all the scratches and oxidation, the first thing that you're going to want to do is actually clay bar the surface. Now, the clay bar is actually meant to decontaminate the surface from any kind of embedded contamination like rail dust, brake dust, or any kind of embedded dirt that makes its way into the pores of your clear coat. So we're going to grab a little piece of clay bar, and we also have some clay luber right here to use with the clay bar. Now, to use the clay bar, it's actually very easy. You guys have seen us do it 1,000 times on the channel before. All you gotta do, spray, glide left and right, no pressure. Do that till the surface is glass smooth, wipe it off, and you're done. If you guys have any questions related to clay bar, feel free to check out the description down below for our full in-depth video on how to clay bar your car. All right, so we just finished clay bar on the surface. Now, one thing I do want to show you guys is just how contaminated the clay bar actually is. So you guys can see all the contamination that we picked up just on this side of the hood. Just imagine how much more of it is left on the vehicle. This is all embedded rail dust, brake dust, contamination like dirt or grime that just made its way into the pores of your paint. This is what your clay bar should look like. That's what it looks like, right? That's what your paint actually has. So even though we washed the car, it's still dirty and contaminated. And now that we're done claying, we just wipe off the residue and we can move on. All right, guys, now that you're done wiping off the residue of clay luber, now we can start with the polishing. Now, when I say polishing, I really mean cutting, because that's what we're going to have to do first. And the cutting agent of choice today is going to be our InSynchro V43 Precision Cut Compound. Now, this product is on the newer side of our product line, and this, just keep it simple, is a professional cutting agent. It's super easy to use. I love using it. It cuts fast, it cuts hard, it cuts where you need it, and it gets you the results that you're looking for. So to start off, all you got to do is on your pad, this is a 5-inch pad. So rule of thumb, always apply the amount of drops of the size of the pad. So in this case, this is a 5-inch pad, so we're going to apply 5 drops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to work in a 2x2 section. So we're not going to do this whole entire half of the hood. We're actually going to do maybe just a quarter of it. And then to use it, all you're going to have to do is simply blot it out. You'll turn it on to speed setting 1 to spread it out. And then after you spread it out nice and evenly, now you can go ahead and work it in on a higher speed setting. So I'm going to tune this up a notch. I'm going to cut this until it's nice and translucent, and we're going to wipe it off and show you the results. We just finished cutting. Now it's time to wipe it off. So let's grab a premium, actually let me grab a different one. That's the one I use for the clay luber. We're going to grab a fresh, clean microfiber towel. And now we're going to go ahead and wipe off the residue of, damn, this thing looked good. Now, one thing I will point out right now is that it's not perfect. We can still do a lot more work to this, but just for a first step, as a one step, this thing is already looking solid. You can see that the paint, the shine, it's back to what it actually should be, and it looks great, but we're detailers here at Chemical Guys, and we only shoot for perfection. So we're going to go ahead and give this another pass. And there's nothing wrong with giving it another pass, just simply because all paints are different. In this case, this thing is super neglected. This is old Toyota paint, and although it may not look perfect when we're done with it, but it will look a lot better than what it was when we first started. So we just finished working in that secondary layer or secondary pass of InSynchro, and you can definitely tell that the paint has much more clarity than the first pass, simply because this paint is extremely oxidized. And this is something that you can expect from older kinds of paintwork like this. Even if you have an older vehicle like this, you can still restore it, although it just takes a little bit more time and effort, not just because of the chemicals or anything like that. It's actually more so the condition of the paintwork being much more neglected than what it actually should be. So as you can see, the paintwork looks a lot better. And at this point in time, this is great in terms of the cutting stage. So basically when your paint looks like this, where all you can see is just finer swirl marks, that's when you're going to go ahead and follow it up with your supreme finish polish. But in the meantime, I'm actually going to go ahead and finish cutting the rest of this half of the hood with the InSynchro compound. That way we can actually do the polish all in one step. It's always best, do the compound first, get that fully out the way, and then come back with the polish. So let me go ahead and cut the rest of this side of the hood, and I'll be right back with you guys, show you guys how to use the polish. All right, so we just finished cutting with the InSynchro Precision Cut compound, and now it's time to ditch the cutting pad and start refining. All right, so now that that's out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and grab our white polishing pad, and we're gonna go ahead and center that on our machine polisher here as best as possible. So now that we're ready to polish, we're gonna grab our InSynchro Supreme Finish Polish. Now, after you cut, think of cutting as like a more abrasive sandpaper versus this is gonna be more of a finer sandpaper. This is designed to smoothen out the surface and really just bring out the overall clarity and shine back to the paintwork. And the great thing about using this product is that you use it the exact same way as the compound. So all you gotta do, get the pad, put 5 drops, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And same thing, work in a small section at a time, blot it out, spread it out, and then work it in. Alrighty guys, we're at that point now where we're all done. We're just wrapping up by simply wiping off the residue of the InSynchro Supreme Finish Polish. And right away you can see that these results speak for themselves. As you guys saw, the paint was super neglected, it was oxidized, there was all kinds of water spots, acid rain spots, you know, you name it, whatever's on the paint, this paint has it. And now we can go ahead and peel off the tape and show you guys how insane this 50/50 really is after just seeing it from left to right. So let me go ahead and peel off this tape, and I'll bring you guys in for a closer look. Bam! Check this out, guys. This is not what you want your paint to sound like. This is what you want it to sound like. So we're gonna wrap it up here. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to give us a huge like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and as always, if you guys wanna pick up these beautiful compound and polishes, they're gonna be linked in the description and pinned comment down below. As always, my name is Joey. This is Chemical Guys. I'll see you next time. Ooh, look at that, look at that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We're juggling.